Hi, my name is Lady MG. This is Life Means Go Forth, LMG Daily. Life Means Go Forth on the Daily. Getting back, we're on part 2, Bob Marley, Black History Month. Now, Bob Marley had an attempted assassination, and the motive was that people thought that he was leaning on the political side too much, and they thought that he was going and backing a person that they didn't like, one group, and one hate group. They were distributors of narcotics, so they felt like, look, if you trying to come in game and mess us up, we ain't having that. But see, Marley wasn't on that. He wasn't on it like they thought he was. So I'm telling you, that's what I mean, y'all. And it's all behind money. If you think about it, it's all behind that money. And who started that? At first, we were on a barter system. You weren't worried about no money? We had a barter system. Like, look, I need some greens, potatoes, a chicken, and a cow. I'm going to till your yard for 6 months. And I'm going to go and work for Mr. Jim Bob down the street and give you $2.50 a day. Okay, cool. That's what's up. We can do that. So they would exchange goods for services. And that's what their barter system was built upon. Your word was your bond. That's how they credited each other and built that barter system, and it was going fine. Had it worked out. And here come Mr. So, that being said, Bob knew this stuff. He realized it because he started learning. And then he was going through his own situations in Jamaica and seeing what was going on. So, his wife was named Rita Marley. When the attempted assassination happened, she was shot. Bob Marley was shot. A man named Don and a man named Lewis. The whole time, Bob Marley was claiming, look, man, I'm not into that political stuff. I'm about unity and Rastafarian religion. So they was like, oh, no, man, the way that you doing this, I don't like it. I don't like you trying to do all this kumbaya stuff, So that being said, it's like that crab in the barrel syndrome. Yet again, we keep coming back to this, you guys. Wow. Now, let me tell you how they work on the opposite end. The crab in the barrel syndrome. In a way. And people can inadvertently be doing this and not really realize they're doing it. So, it's good to draw their attention to the fact and say, hey, hold up. It's not that serious. We can do this together. You can have your bread, I can have my bread. And we can sit at the same table. So here we go. Now, I Shot the Sheriff was written by Bob Marley and performed. Now, the following year, Mr. Eric Clapton said, I'm going to put my version out. So, it's funny in a way because Rastafarian faith is one of the main things that Bob Marley brought to the stage everywhere he went. So that being said, Rastafarian faith is also deeply rooted. Now, if I was not mistaken, at one point, I remember in 2000, I think it was 2017, 2018, where he had spoke in favor of Trump. And I was like taken aback. I was like, what? So I can understand this now. You know, I can understand and not be so shocked now. And it's like, whoa. You have to appreciate the fact that these people are being exposed, because I would rather see you coming at me. I don't want you to be. I hope you don't. But the thing is, by my culture, don't you back down. But it's in my bloodline not to. So, that being said, it's like, you know, sometimes you have that fight or flight mechanism, and sometimes you don't. So, that being said, not too easy to, my bloodline has never been like real easy to scare. And you wonder, like, where did that come from? You know, it must be the warriors, you know, like we were taught over in Africa. But then I go, Dad, you know, they say we're African. And he would say, no, we're not, we black. You know, African. So I would be like, I don't know who we are. So, learning that you connect with the people that you thought you connect with, because it will always be like so majestic to me when we would travel to North Carolina, and it will be a totally different air, you know, when we would get where we're going. And I would love it. I would always love to see, like, the mountains and, you know, just the whole scenery. It's amazing. And if you're a person that's rooted in nature, you tend to see, like, wow, mother, look at what you do. You know, look at what you did. You know, and it's just absolutely extraordinary if you just, like, think about it. And the landscapes that's around the world, it's like, wow. I understand why people want to travel around the world. However, honey, not getting on too many planes. I have yet to get on my first one. So, that being said, Maybe one day, but not right now. So, Mr. Leonard Howell, um, I'm going to speak about him. And he was also a Rastafarian follower. And when you look at in the time from February 6, 1945, Bob Marley was born, and May 11, 1981, he died. He passed. When he went to the spirit realm, it was a great loss to society. Here and abroad, in his hometown. And it's written. I wasn't there, so I didn't hear him say the exact words, but it is written, and I quoted, his last words were, "Money can't buy life." Those are some powerful last words. It just hits you. Well, it hit me. But thank you, Bob Marley. Thank you for being who you are and giving us such poetic literature through music. And to have an inspiration in the reggae industry, a powerhouse like him, to branch off so many other powerhouses, Maxi Priest, and the list goes on and on, Shaggy, Shabba Ranks, Buju Banton, the list goes on and on. Like, I just saw him on the BET Awards. He was in the Cypher. Oh, goodness. Zag. I can't think about it right now, but you know who I am, love. Shout outs to you. So, getting back on Black history, another powerhouse pioneer is Mr. Marcus Garvey. Marcus Mosiah Garvey is his name. Now, when you look at this man here, born August 17th, 1887, totally different time frames. You heard me. We still pushing for recognition, equality, just to live free, have rights, so, and have the government abide by those rights with us, not have it impartial. So, that being said, he was born in St. Anne's, Jamaica Bay. Civil rights activist and leader of the Pan-African movement, which sought to unify and connect people of African descent worldwide. And now he founded the Negro World newspaper, a shipping company called Black Star Line, and the Universal Negro Movement Association, or UNIA, a fraternal organization of black nationalists. They sought to establish independent black states around the world. First experience with racism was in grade school. Mine, preschool. He attended University of London's Birkbeck College, where he studied law and philosophy. He led debates in the historical Speaker's Corner in Hyde Park, London, the famous Hyde Park. Around 1916, he also spoke in New York City. He was a dramatic and invigorating speaker. Was noted in at the 1920 meeting. He was elected provisional president of Africa. Mr. Garvey began to question how the United States could call itself a democracy when across the country, people of color are still oppressed. Let's pause there for a second. This was 1920. My grandmother wasn't even born yet. One of my grandmothers wasn't even born. And my other grandmother was, this would have made her 7 years old at this time. $19.20. That is a long time. This is actually 7 years before my daddy's mother is born, and 7 years after my mother's mother. That's amazing. That was an epiphany. I just really realized that. So Mr. Garvey, he was married, and he didn't marry not once but twice. I can relate. Now, he was married to a Miss Amy Ashwood, who also was an activist in the Universal Negro Empowerment Association, and they divorced in 1922. So, only a few years. Now, in the same swoop of the year, he marries another lady after his divorce, Miss Amy Jaquez, or Jaquez. So, Jaquez. It is Jacquees, who also was active in the social causes. They had 2 sons together, Mr. Marcus Mosiah Garvey III and Julius Winston Garvey. To save time, 2 big pioneers, and we're recognizing them right now. Black History Month, excellence. Because it's funny, even though we're from different, regions, they seem to sometimes always categorize us in one pot. I want to give a shout out to Barbados. I heard about you guys doing big things out there in Barbados, honey. Shouts out to you. Kudos, cheers, salute. Now, I was looking at Brother Dane's, one of his segments, and the title of it caught my eye. It was just like, I know that's right. Because it's real out here now. I mean, we have to stop the open season program. You know, even through the years past, you have certain seasons you hunt and certain seasons you don't. For deer, coon, turkey. So, it's, you have to. But the title is, it's time for these tenants to pay us rent or evict notice should follow suit. Now, this brother here, y'all should follow. Y'all should subscribe and follow. Even if you don't subscribe and follow me, subscribe and follow this brother. Because I promise you, what you will research after hearing what he says, it's going to be dead on. It's going to be spot on, I'm telling you. So, moving forward, when I realized that the census was created 1700s, I said, okay. So I do remember looking at 1776. The census wasn't even created then, so they really wasn't taking stock of people like that. Only slaves. So, that being said, now they say 1776 George Washington, who was voted in. And so when Dane explained that, he was supposed to be the president, George Washington, he was, declared president at the time. But all of the important documents were signed by Benjamin Franklin. So I'm like, now wait a minute. When does a person don't sign their own signature? When they can't write it or they can't read to write it. I'm like, I know we didn't have an illiterate president. And then I researched. We had an illiterate president of the United States. Moving forward. Now, 1850 voting originated. This is when voting started. Look at that. 60 years later. Oh, that's a long time. 6 decades. And voting was originated. Now, when Malcolm X declared that, hey, let me tell y'all what it is. Indians were manipulated. Not that they did manipulate, they were manipulated. And they were manipulated by ministers. Now, that being said, I want you to look up 4 words, including the conjunction. Church and state. Government. When I found out the great land theft, I was like, okay, I'm thinking about, you know, America. The British colonizers at that time had went over to experiment South Africa first. So they went over there, stealing land. Then they came to America, stealing land. But it was very clever the way they did it. They wanted people to believe that they were trying to befriend them and work out things and live in harmony the right way, do the things the right way, but they was not. They wasn't. They wasn't doing things the right way. So they designed a system for themselves. The South Carolina people, I know for sure. The South African people, I read about. But I've heard other South Africans explain these things as well. The killings that happen in certain periods of history is absolutely ridiculous. The massacres, the just mass killings, the depopulation tactics, is something else. So that being said, we're going to be approaching part 3 of the LMG daily segment. And when I pick up, we're going to be talking about child testings and control and the greed for control. And, it's something else. We're going to break down and dissect immigrate from immigrant. So, that being said, having this and learning this is a weight lifted, and another one that absolutely appears because you are so ready to break free from the chains. And they're invisible chains and strains. But the system is a very testy creation. And all these years I've been telling myself, it can't be for us. How is this, just structured? And it seemed like it's just structured, and I never can come out in the right when it's right every time. They're trying to break me down. They're trying to make me lose my mind. They're trying to do this. They're trying to do that. And people would say, why are you blaming the system? Why are you not taking accountability? The system designed us.